Welcome, folks, to the next episode of BattleTech Simplified, Season 2. I'm Michael Shockman, I'll be your host and commentator, and in today's episode we will be covering the mech that was meant to replace the aging rifleman battle mech, but after many campaigns and many years of service, ended up being one of the most okayest and much loved generalist heavy mechs in existence. Today we will be covering the Quickdraw. The Quickdraw was originally built in 2779 as a replacement for the Rifleman battle mech, though very few had been assigned to any mech regiments before the outbreak of the First Succession War in 2786. While it was unsuccessful in supplanting the Rifleman, throughout the course of the Succession Wars, the Quickdraw proved itself as a good generalist mech. Packing excellent firepower, solid armor protection, and an above-average speed, it quickly earned the respect of many mech warriors and status as a workhorse of the successor states' militaries. The Quickdraw also benefited from a couple of unique design features, one of which was that its arm actuators could bend backwards as well as forwards. This allowed the Quickdraw pilot to fire all four of its lasers to the rear, improving upon its already formidable rear arc firepower, and creating a nasty surprise for anyone attempting to sneak up behind it. The second feature was its nearly articulated ankle actuators, which not only allowed the Quickdraw to keep its footing more easily on difficult terrain, such as gravel, mud, or ice, but also traverse gradients up to 12 degrees steeper than other mechs of its weight class. Its mobility was further enhanced by 5 jump jets. Unfortunately, however, this same mobility was also the Quickdraw's greatest weakness, as the distinctively circular rotor housing was notoriously fragile. Targeting the ankles with weapons fire, or with a good kick while engaged in close combat, could cripple or even immobilize the mech. Equipped with only 13 heat sinks, the Quickdraw also suffered from poor heat dissipation, which limited use of its lasers in protracted firefights or in conjunction with frequent jumping. Its 8 tons of armor was also less than that carried by most other heavy mechs. Technicron eventually managed to fix the heat issue with the improved QKD-5M models, though the ankles remained a structural weakness as the price to be paid for its mobility. The newer models steadily replaced the older 4Gs throughout the inner sphere during the 50s, while the original remained common among the periphery nations and second-rate mercenary commanders, and more advanced variants would continue to be produced in the years following. In terms of its weapons and equipment, the Quickdraw is geared towards medium and short-range combat. The only long-range weapon carried by the Quickdraw is a Delta Dart LRM-10 launcher, mounted in the left torso, along with 1 ton of ammunition. The Quickdraw also carries 4 Omicron 4000 medium lasers, 2 of which are rear-mounted, in the right torso, and the other 2 in the arms, giving it respectable close-range firepower. Additionally, to capitalize on any weak points in the enemy's armor, the Quickdraw carries a HoverTech Quad SRM-4 launcher in the center torso, supplied by a single ton of ammo in the right torso. As for my personal feelings on the Quickdraw, ladies and gentlemen, I have to say this is a mech that I haven't really had that much experience piloting, though I have faced them in the field in my playthroughs of BattleTech from Airplane Schemes. Honestly, if they're in good repair and you don't close within range of them, they can be a deadly opponent. And but obviously because of that mobility issue with the actuators and the ankles, once you can close in with them and batter them with melee attacks, you kind of neuter them. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. They're great for short and medium range engagements, but the moment that somebody closes within melee distance with them, they kind of lose their effectiveness. So keep that in mind and take that as it is. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for joining me in this episode of BattleTech Simplified. I hope you guys have enjoyed. This was a quick little one. It took me like three or four tries to be able to get the intro right, so I was kind of frustrated by that. But hey, we got there in the end. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel, leaving a like on the video, and commenting down below with what your feelings on this aged battle mech are. Are you a fan of the close to medium range powerhouse that is the Quickdraw, or do you think that its flaws outweigh its boons? Let me know down below. Also, and last but not least, please be sure to ring the bell icon so that you never miss out whenever our episodes go live. Thank you so much. Anyway, guys, I'm Michael Shockman. I've been your host and commentator, and remember, as always, no guts, no galaxy. Later, everybody.